Hello, Iris J here with Madrona's Pulse Teachings. That is Nikita, and I am here welcoming you to my channel. Hello, it's nice to see you. If this is your first time watching my channel, thanks for tuning in. I talk about astrology and spirituality and healing and earth-based consciousness, and I usually have an animal video bombing me at some point. And I am here chatting with you about this energy that is carrying us into the Sagittarius full moon. So really talking about June 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And I have a video that's actually on the Sagittarius full moon, which the link is below. And that is really talking about the aspects and kind of condensed into the energy of the full moon. And there's energies I didn't talk about because it would take the scope a bit too large. And so I want to talk about that today and put it out there as this energy that's really, I am really feeling, hearing, working with this energy as a cosmic symphony that is just carrying us into the illuminations, the Sagittarian illuminations, which are big picture. And Sag has a lot to do with Jupiter. So one of the energies I would like to chat with you about is Jupiter conjunct the North Node at 3 to 4 degrees of Taurus. So you really want to see where you have 3 to 4 degrees of Taurus sitting in your chart. And the other real strong piece of this kind of cosmic symphony is Venus trine Neptune. So Venus is at the final degrees of Cancer, 28 to 29 degrees of Cancer, and Neptune is also entering its final stages of a very long transit through Pisces. It's there at the 27th degree. And there is such cosmic waters, spiritual waters, this Venus-Neptune layer, and it is all layers because Venus rules Taurus and Jupiter is in Taurus, and Jupiter is the ruler of the Sag moon. So it's just all these layers. And this is why part of me works with the metaphor symphony when I'm talking about the cosmic layers and aspects and the way that we feel them in our psyche and in our body. And astrology is so beautiful because it can be a language for feeling these very complex and interrelated layers, where when we sometimes try and put these feelings that we have into ordinary language or categories or boxes, let alone diagnoses and pathologies, no thank you. Not that they're not useful, but in terms of the complex emotional makeup, astrology is a wonderful language that brings what we're feeling into symbol and metaphor. And what is it that we're feeling? So, we have this Taurus energy of Jupiter conjunct the North Node. This is expansive opportunity. It really doesn't mean that you're going to wake up to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow tomorrow. It doesn't mean that all of this material wealth is just going to materialize in the next day. What it means is that a part of our psyche is opening. A part of our psyche is opening, and it is opening to this new energy that we are birthing, that we have been birthing, to the dream of the life that is calling you, that has started calling you, that maybe it keeps echoing throughout. And this is really beautiful energy to dream big, to let yourself imagine, to do small tasks that symbolize the direction you'd like to move, whether that is working on your website that you hope to launch someday, whether that is having a conversation with a partner, whether that is writing a letter to yourself about letting your dreams come true. Anything that you can do to symbolize this energy of the North Node conjunct Jupiter is a really wonderful way of planting the seeds with that. It's also talking to the full moon on June 3rd or 4th, depending where you are. And while, to work with the symphony metaphor a little more, that it's like a steady sacred percussion, that the beating of that North Node and Jupiter and Taurus is sacred earth energy, and it's grounding us and it's holding us, while the ruler of that sacred earth energy for the Taurus energy right now, Venus, is trining Neptune. So now we bring in the sacred water energy. We bring in the Cancer energy of Venus at the final degrees of Cancer, and we bring in the final degrees of Pisces with Neptune. Neptune at the final degrees of Pisces is huge energy, and it is mystical experience. This is spirituality that is felt, that is intuited, that we dream, that we journey with, that we see in the wilderness. This is not a spirituality of theory or dogma or theology. That is in a different area. It could be coming up because Sagittarius likes to think about those things. But Neptune in Pisces feels it. It intuits it. It dissolves the ego that wants to make sense of things, and it simply experiences. And that is feeding into Venus, who is in the final degrees of Cancer, which during our previous new moon, Mars was sitting at. So this energy is coming up again, now not in terms of the active surrender of self, but more in terms of the what do we want to value in our life that is sacred? What do we want to value in our life that brings those spiritual waters into it a little bit more? And how can that merge with the dreams that we are making? And this is all talking to Pluto. Venus is coming into an opposition with Pluto. Pluto is squaring that conjunction of the North Node in Jupiter. So Pluto is there breaking down the old patterns so that these new symphonies of self, symphonies of care, symphonies of spirituality can be playing in the cosmos and our psyche, and they can be working with us, and we can be unraveling old versions of ourselves and exposing ourselves to the essence of the new paradigm. And, you know, it's really important as well. So I tried to make this video 3 times for you. The first time, neighbors' power saws refused to let me speak. The second time, the video got all jumbled. But on the second time, I tried to do it outside, and I went into a place I've never gone before on the trail. And as I turned, there was all the most beautiful robin's eggs there of babies that had hatched. And I loved that because I just love seeing the blue and seeing the evidence of new life. And that hatching metaphor, I think, is actually very important. And, you know, I'm filming this in the Northern Hemisphere, where we're going to be moving into summer soon, and we're in spring. But regardless of where we are, the energy of, you know, Pluto is in retrograde. Saturn is going to go retrograde through the spiritual sign of Pisces in a few weeks. We are realigning. So we're simultaneously, and this has come up in some of the major transits we've had, we're in the process of birthing and hatching these new versions of ourselves that are materializing, that are taking on form. And as we do that, we are also, especially in the next month and into 2 months, being asked to reformulize and realign parts of ourselves and our psyche and our lives that are about the collective in a very individual way. And this is one of the things I love about astrology, is that it's always weaving the individual and the collective together. Taurus is a very personal energy. It is about our self-sufficiency. But what doesn't get mentioned a lot about that self-sufficiency is that it's a self in Taurus energy, which is rooted in the earth. It's rooted in earth consciousness. It's not a self-sufficiency that comes from the superhero ego that Hollywood loves to make films about, that's based on American idealism of patriarchy and colonialism. It is a sacred self-sufficiency that comes from sustainability rooted in the earth, a sustainability that nourishes the earth and nourishes the individual and nourishes our mental health and our physical health. And this is the type of self-sufficiency. It's rooted and it belongs. And that is here with this North Node conjunct Jupiter. It's expanding in our consciousness. It's grounding us. And then this beautiful symphony of the Cancer and Neptune energy is here as well, really inviting us to maybe let go and flow with the emotions, to see where they carry us. It's wonderful to make just kind of stream of consciousness or intuitive art with this energy. It's wonderful to just see what happens. And as I said, this is carrying us into that Sagittarius full moon, which is either on the 3rd or the 4th, and I have a link below for that. So this is the message I just wanted to send out to you. I hope this finds you well, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you next time. Take care.